Probably not.
Yeah, we always debate about going to Florida and then, you know.
All right, I've got 6 o'clock, so I'll call the meeting to order, and if everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. We'll start off with the approval of minutes and financials. We do have financials from 10/13. Any discussion, corrections, questions?
I make a motion to table the financials till next regular meeting.
All right, we have September 8th meeting minutes. Open discussion, any questions, concerns, corrections? I do have just a few. Under cemeteries, it says that Laura got quotes. All 3 of us got quotes. I got quotes and Ed also got quotes for that. And then we spoke about the district survey, and it says Tim didn't know the status. I believe that was Todd who gave that update for the fire department. Just they switched, we got you switched. Besides that, I would make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
I vote yes.
Laura? Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. And then we received October 13th meeting minutes. And also, I think this is the second copy of those financials. Discussion, do we need to table these? Does everyone have a chance to look at them?
I haven't looked them over. I don't see any changes that I think being made. I will make a motion we accept the minutes from October 13th.
Have you looked at them, Laura?
I picked them up Saturday.
Do you need more time, or do you want to approve them?
I'd like to table till next month. So I have it.
And we have a very special guest today, who I assume many of you are here to listen speak. I'd like to introduce our state representative, Heidi Workman, who'd like to come and speak with everyone here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You can sit on the stage if you want to, so.
That would be
We
great.
should
Just
kind of like a podium, but yes, go
no,
ahead.
that's fine, all right.
Yeah.
I have a lot to cover tonight. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible. I know you have your whole meeting to go through. So thank you all for coming. What an honor it is to be here with you. I hope that I'm able to answer some of your questions and help put you at ease a little bit about what we're doing at the state level. First of all, can I just ask you, how many of you are veterans here tonight? Wonderful. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you so much for your service. It's because of you that I am fighting here today for the rights that you fought for. So thank you to our veterans on Veterans Day on Tuesday. So a couple really big announcements. We just passed a couple very big bills in the Ohio legislature 2 weeks ago. Those were House Bill 186 and House Bill 335. These 2 bills combined will bring a total of $2.4 billion to the state of Ohio in property tax relief. This is going to absolutely stop the spike in property taxes entirely. And for those districts where the schools are on the 20 mil floor, it caps our increases for property taxes to inflation. So this year we just saw 35 to 40, sometimes even higher increase in property tax value and property taxes. This will cap that increase to the rate of inflation, which is currently 2.7% in Ohio. So that's going to bring those spikes way down and bring those bills way down. There's a variety of things that we need to talk about here tonight, but for the sake of time, I want to open up the floor to you for questions and let you lead the conversation. But ultimately, I'm here tonight so that I can talk to you about what we're doing in Columbus to make sure we're addressing this issue, and also what I can do to represent your voice better. So aside from those two bills, we have a couple more here that I want to just go over very quickly so you have a good idea of what we're also doing on the property tax front. House Bill 129 will close loopholes by counting emergency, substitute, incremental growth, conversion, and combined levies toward the 20 mil floor. House Bill 309 will empower our county budget commissions and give them more authority for county oversight of tax dollars, which also means that they can say no to the levies that are being requested to be put on the ballot. House Bill 124 provides more oversight for our auditor in the appraisal practices. So those are the really big ones right now that have already passed. We have a couple more that are currently moving that would expand the homestead exemption. Those are currently being considered. So does that give you a good idea of what we're doing at the state level? Do we want to ask questions for the sake of time and let people just kind of lead this conversation? Let's do it. Go ahead.
I have a good question.
Yes.
The homestead exemption, it ain't high enough for a veteran on disability. I can tell you that with the increase that just happened, and there's been no effort to increase that as far as legislation that I've watched.
Yeah.
That needs addressed. And also, why are we still paying property taxes for schools when the Supreme Court issued the thing that said it was illegal to do so?
Yes. Best question yet, and the best question I get every time. So the issue is that about 30 years ago now, the Supreme Court ruled in DeRolf versus State that the way we collected property taxes to fund our schools was unconstitutional, which you already know about. In the year 2002, in September, the Supreme Court ruled after all of that time that the case was null and void. So they threw it out. That was the Supreme Court ruling, and that's why you see, and it doesn't mean that I agree, but that's why you see the state not acting to centralize our K through 12 public school funding.
Then it should be abolished. Property tax should be abolished. I think everybody here would agree with that.
Yep, I don't think any of us want to pay property taxes, it's true. But the question is, if we eliminate our property taxes, what essential services do
There's
we
a
fund?
$4 billion surplus fund in the state.
Yeah.
So
The rainy day fund.
Spend it.
Yes.
It's a rainy day.
Yes, whenever, and there is more to be found as well. And I will not say that the money isn't there. I am certain we can find it. I myself submitted 36 amendments to the budget in this past operational cycle that would have cut the waste, fraud, and abuse in our state government, and only about 3 of those made it through to the end. So that is a fact. Go ahead.
Well, they passed marijuana, they passed casinos.
Yeah.
They passed a few other things that are like that should fund all that stuff. So where's that money going?
Yeah, so 100% of the lottery profits go to school funding, but it only
Lottery,
makes,
that's another one?
only makes up
That's
11% of the demand for school funding.
Yeah, but we're like that. Where's all the money from the gambling and marijuana going?
Yeah,
There's things that need addressed seriously hard.
they do.
And everybody dances around the subject. And we as people, I'm probably run-of-the-mill average. We're pissed and we're tired of it.
Yeah.
The people need to be a better steward of our tax dollars in the state house along with federal and locally.
I think that's what sold a lot of people to vote on that, because it's supposed to go to school, so people voted, oh, I
Yes.
guess we're leaving.
I agree. And again, it's only 11%. And we could get into a whole nother conversation about schools. We can go in that direction if you want, but there's a lot about schools that needs to be addressed as well, including the outcomes of our children's education. Did I have a question over here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Are you aware of the mental benefit program that is being circulated throughout the state to abolish?
I do. And thank you for bringing it up. Thank you. So I helped bring people together in Kent to consider this option. We had over 350 people at the time with this organization to abolish property taxes. I understand, we've had enough. We're at a breaking point, and I petitioned that, and I've made it very known. Everybody knows it at the state level. We're doing all we can, despite the pushback that we're getting from schools and all of our taxing entities. So it is an absolute battle, but that doesn't mean that we're going to stop. On the elimination of property taxes, I had not heard a peep about what happens if these taxes are actually eliminated. So I brought a report here that I want to share with you because you brought that up about what will happen in this district specifically. I made our policy experts run a report and tell me what's going to happen to my district whenever we eliminate property taxes. Because there's no doubt if this hits the ballot next fall, that we will eliminate property taxes. There's no doubt, and I don't think there's any question. It's got a 72% approval rating right now. But you wait, as we get closer to that threshold, you're gonna see everybody turn against the people. You're gonna see the schools come after you, you're gonna see the taxing authorities, you're gonna see the cities, you're gonna see everybody that digs deep into your wallet come after you, because they're gonna create a campaign that makes you fearful of eliminating property taxes. The truth is, you have to decide, you wanna pay property taxes, or do you want to pay essential services, our schools? How are we going to fund these other components that, we're using your property taxes for? So, a couple really important things that you need to be aware of. The revised code permits counties to levy a sales tax as high as 1.5% for general purposes. Right now, Portage County is 1%. The county can increase that right now and help bring those rates down for you. School districts may impose an income tax with voter approval. There's only one school in our district that does that, and that's Garfield. Only 2 schools in our district are on the 20 mil floor. That means every other person, every other resident in the school districts not on the 20 mil floor will be capped at inflation. You will only see a 2.7% increase. Townships may levy a lodging tax, but obviously we don't have a lot of lodging opportunity here. One possible effect of the elimination of property taxes is a significant increase in the state's obligation to school districts through the formula for school districts to provide a thorough and efficient public school system. However, the overall effect on the formula is uncertain. So I'm going to tell you right now, if we eliminated property taxes, we do not know yet what is going to happen. There will be lawsuits flying everywhere for school funding. We at the state level are constitutionally obligated to provide K-12 school funding, but that doesn't mandate, the Constitution doesn't mandate how we do that. So at the state level, we're looking at massive consolidation so we can keep the tax rates low. Either way, to replace the revenue that currently comes in here in Portage County, we're looking at a massive increase in sales tax or income tax. We just got to a 2.7% flat tax. If you eliminated property taxes, it would kick in the fiscal year 2029 for school funding. So I want you to be aware of that because everything is paid in arrears. The Ohio Constitution gives the General Assembly authority to limit or restrict taxes. Section 13 of Article 18 authorizes the General Assembly to pass laws to limit the power of municipal corporations to levy taxes and incur debt. This is all really important for you to know that nobody else is telling you.
I'll never happen this fast.
All of it plays into how we survive this.
The 2.7% increased cap, that's inflation this year. What if we have a year like we did 3 years ago where the inflation is 12% or more? What then?
It will go to 12%.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand, it gives some fluctuations.
We're all wondering, that's where
They need to have open book audits and stuff. There's things that I've seen as a military veteran and things like that, state, local, everywhere. My family's been around a long time.
Yeah.
And there's waste everywhere. and everybody looks at it, oh, the taxpayers are paying the bill. They throw stuff away, do things that's just a no-starter.
But I do have to say, I've traveled around at all of the township meetings, and I've gotten to almost all of them this year. And our townships are run really tight.
Well, I think the
Our
township, I
townships,
don't
I
think
think-
we have a big problem here, but we have problems where the roads ain't done and the county does that.
Yes,
Or they're just done shoddily.
yes.
But, you
Yeah.
got other things going on, school system wise, all the wokeness and all the stuff. I heard some things about Atwater that just curdled my blood. That I don't know if anything like that's going on here. I don't have any school-age children anymore, but grandchildren, but when they're gonna put a litter box in a bathroom for a kid, that's nuts.
And this
The
is the
parents and
conversation.
the school board should all get some counseling somewhere.
These are conversations about how schools are operating. You know, I'm a big advocate for keeping power as close to the people as possible and empowering our township trustees and elected officials to do their job the best they can do it. But, you know, there certainly is oversight that is needed, and unfortunately, our schools run as their own fiefdoms. There's very little oversight. I think we had one over here, go ahead.
Yeah, when you first came in and started talking about funding for the schools, which I'm really tired of, I look at my tax, property tax, all of our money is going towards the schools.
Like over 70%.
There's nothing here for us.
Yeah.
You know, we can't even get garbage pickup. You know, we have well water, or you have to have your septic systems. There's nothing for us besides paying for all these levies in schools. Now, you had mentioned, and I read it on your site and I got a little confused about it, but when it came to the schools, remember there was that big fund they didn't spend towards the end of the other year? The schools didn't spend the money.
Right, yes, yes. So, unencumbered
Explain
cash
it to
reserve.
everybody,
Okay.
because why are they asking for money if they've already have money that they didn't spend? Could you explain this to everybody?
So, I gotta give you the numbers because these are the facts, right? The numbers speak for themselves. Portage County property taxes bring in it's somewhere around $380 million in this district alone. Our school districts have in their unencumbered cash reserves $38.1 million. That means that it's not being considered for any of the projects at the school. It's open, it's just in their cash reserves, it's their savings account. That was before property taxes increased. $38.1 million unencumbered in their cash reserves. That could go back to the property taxpayer. That's what we're talking about whenever we're saying that the county and the county budget commission could have turned away these unvoted increases in property taxes. You didn't vote for this. The county did not have to accept it. They do not legally have to accept it, and many counties turned it away. They did not accept the increases, but this county did.
Well, so you know how most politics work. I mean, if there's a budget, they're gonna spend it because they have to spend it, so it looks like it's gone, right?
Yes.
So you know a lot of that happens. So even though they say they have a budget, that goes away. So why don't the state come up with a 14% flat tax on non-essentials so older people don't get hit with taxes? And that way, only people who are buying new goods that are non-essentials get taxed, and it funds everything and leaves everyone who has their home alone.
Do you mean sales tax?
Yes.
Yeah.
For non-essentials only.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about things you need.
Well, that's something I can certainly look into. Again, a lot of these conversations begin at this level. They haven't been discussed yet at the state level. We're still working through that and trying to enact as many changes as we can now before we get to that point. This is why I ran the report, to know how it's going to affect Portage County, because I take this very seriously.
Okay, I read in a newspaper not that long ago that Ohio is one of the few states that relies almost solely on property taxes to fund the schools. So, what are the other states doing, and why don't we look at how they do it?
Sure. It's a good question. So I actually did. And there's only one other state in the union, and that is Hawaii, that fully centralizes their K-12 school funding. I actually had the opportunity when I was in Chicago 3 weeks ago to talk to the Senate President of Hawaii. and the chair of the education committee. They say, yes, they centralize all their education funding, and it's 80% of their total budget for the state of Hawaii, 80%. So they also said they have a massive underserved issue, because a lot of the teachers are moving into the cities instead of serving the rural areas. So there's a massive disadvantage, and they're trying to address that. But it is 83% of their overall state budget. We couldn't afford that. However, I have talked to some policy experts about what that would look like if Ohio centralized school funding entirely. If we took it off the taxpayer, that to me is a no-brainer. However, we have to make up the money, make up the funding to do that. And then you have to have the discussion about, is it going to be acceptable to the schools and all of our families where the kids go to school? Do we want the state to have a power and authority over our schools, or do we want our schools to have a school board that we elect, that are closest to us to make those decisions? I think it's at a point where we have to have those hard discussions and figure out what we're going to do going forward. I think that the property tax, to eliminate property taxes, is moving forward because people are sick and tired of paying for the schools. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
So if we took the schools off the back of the property taxpayer, this ballot initiative would just go away. You guys want to fund your essential services. You just don't want to continue funding 73% of your property taxes to the schools.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying that?
People are losing their homes because
Yeah.
they're getting taxed to them.
Yep. Go ahead.
What does the state decide that they're really gonna do if this doesn't pass?
I'm sorry?
What is the state's plan to take care of the schools when this doesn't pass?
We have a
Who needs to
constitutional-
do this whole thing.
Okay, so we have a constitutional obligation to fund our schools fairly and efficiently. That does not mean that it's going to tell us how we do that. So like I said just a little bit ago, we will be looking at massive consolidation. And that means, it could mean, I'm not saying it will mean, there's a lot of conversation that
You mean
has to
like
be
shuttering
had.
some of the smaller school districts
Yes.
and massive countywide school districts?
Essentially, yes.
They do that in southern Ohio now, and I don't see that as a problem. Monroe County's got very few individual town schools. It's Monroe County, but the other thing about that is the money that is paid out in these school programs and stuff, they act like it's their right to have these school teachers, the school boards, and that it's their right to have this money. And yet, you got kids that can't pass a 10th grade reading test. And I think the testing they've done with these kids is dropped our education standards. We got worse education than anywhere in the world, and we're paying more for it than anybody else.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to put that in perspective, we have 614 public school districts across the state of Ohio. If this passes, the property taxes are eliminated, we could be looking at 88. That's a massive consolidation, massive. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. We have to get through those conversations. But there will be lawsuits flying. In the meantime, it will be complete chaos in trying to figure this out. This is why I'm trying to get ahead of it for our
I think
district.
we're a lot smarter than state that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead in the back.
Does the new law give any relief for 2025, or is it just capping at inflation going forward?
It's just going forward. There's no way to revert backwards. We tried to do that, and the school districts threw a fit. Because they're saying, like someone said over here, they already spent their budget, so that's their new norm, right? So they will not go backwards. We tried to do a retroactive to reverse this last increase.
That would have been nice, yeah.
The Senate is still considering those changes, so we'll see what they decide. Did I have them? Okay. Okay.
How much money is generated in like Portage County from, the lottery and stuff, and where all the money go?
The lottery, yeah, I'm not positive about Portage County in particular. I haven't pulled those numbers, but statewide, I know that, again, it only accounts for 11% of the total school funding. Because that was the big thing, that somebody had sold all of us, that lottery taxes were going to pay for our schools. And 100% go to our schools, and it's only a fraction. So I also want to, I'll get you in just a second. Also want to make it very clear that while enrollments in our schools are decreasing, the costs are increasing inversely. So it's an inverse relationship that's happening. Our school enrollments are dropping off, but costs are continuing to increase. And that's related to, a lot of times, the benefits that are provided to our teachers, our administrations, many of the supportive roles, and it's part of, filling those positions. You have to provide the benefits. But health insurance alone, just in 2024, increased by 156%. So that's a huge, it's a huge impact on the services that are being provided in our schools and drives up those costs. So, go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify on that point that the teachers are not getting a drastic increase in pay.
No.
It's the health insurance that is making this so cost prohibitive.
Yes. The insurance is a massive issue that we need to address, and it's only going to get worse if you guys are watching the federal conversation. Yes.
I know.
As a retired school teacher, I've taught quite a few years before there was a federal education board.
Yeah.
All that did to us was have more paperwork, and they had to hire more secretaries and more assistants and stuff like that. You'll notice that the above, not the teacher level, but everything else there's more people there.
Yes.
That didn't have to be there before.
Yes. And I also have to mention that, I've met with a lot of our schools because I come from a family of educators and I highly appreciate the work they do for our kids. I get reports constantly that there are behavioral issues that are happening in our schools, unlike anything that our administrators or teachers have seen before COVID. Something happened when we went virtual to our kids, and there are issues that are almost impossible. And Atwater, somebody said something about Atwater. I just met with a group of moms last Friday that have had their children take their lives because of the behavioral issues happening in our schools. Trying to address suicide prevention. These are real issues that are happening in our schools. The issue is not just cut and dried, and we have a lot to consider as we're having these conversations. So I'm just trying to take it all in and do everything I can to help support the process here for Portage County.
I mean, the state has all the numbers on sales tax. Why can't the state just put on a small sales tax for the whole state to make up the 20-mil floor that's out there that the people are mainly complaining about?
We could. The only thing is, I don't know if that's going to go well for the re-election of some of our seats. If we increase sales tax, sometimes that's what it comes down to. Will people support an increase in sales tax?
For non-essentials.
For non-essentials?
Yes.
The more you spend, the more you pay, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's taking the burden off these fixed income people, the elderly,
Yes.
they can't afford it.
I
As far as people being worried about re-election, what are they going to do when the sales tax or the property tax goes away? They should really be worried about that.
I agree.
That's going to be a big one.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that there will be no doubt that sales taxes will have to go up. But in order to keep it at status quo, they would have to go up by 18%. So we're looking at a massive increase. So we've got to consolidate. And on that note, we have over 1,600 taxing authorities in the state of Ohio. It's no wonder we're taxed to the bone. We need to address how these systems are built and how they're structured. And these are conversations that go very deep with many, many, many people involved in the conversation. It takes a lot of time, unfortunately, that we don't have. And I understand that.
On top of that sales tax I was talking about for non-essentials, if we took the money and actually rewarded the schools that saved money, but also gave more for the kids. So let's say they have a budget, I don't know, make up the number, $4 million, let's just say. And they save half of that because of the way they're running their business and showed it back to the state should reward them for those funds. Now, I'm not saying that's perfect, but also you have to look at, there's multiple things you should look at. You should look at where are they rating, how's the kids improving in each institution, and then you pay more back for that.
Yes.
So on that 14%, I think it should be layered. It shouldn't just be, hey, you get this money. It should be on
Merit.
Job of the, merit.
I am looking currently at absentee rates and outcomes, student outcomes, and so I'm trying to create a model school district that we can use to put in place to help create an improvement in some of these issues.
And as far as
But we need models. We need models that are doing it right. Like
the other part out of property tax that comes out, you have EMS, you have fire, you have all that. I gotta tell you, it'll almost be more beneficial for every location to have a backhoe and a dumpster by the time the fire department gets there and just rebuild. Because half the house is burnt, You can't repair it. So, and that backhoe and dumpster costs nothing.
Yeah.
And you're not paying taxes on it. Just saying.
I come from a family in construction as well, so I understand.
The other thing.
I'm sorry, one moment, sir. Can I get the person behind you? He's been waiting so patiently. Forgive me.
It's all right. This might go outside of our conversation down a little bit, but I was curious if you knew what benefits there might be if there was consolidation of schools for the students?
Benefits for the students? It's hard to say at this point until we start having those conversations. I mean, ideally, we would bring in the brightest and the best teachers and administrators to create a model system that is doing it right. Increasing those outcomes, decreasing absenteeism, addressing some of the issues that we're seeing in our schools today.
I think this goes back to just what we got going on with the federal government sending billions of dollars hidden in stuff to places for stuff that no one in their right mind here would approve of.
Yes.
Okay? The problem is value for the dollar spent. And the taxes, if I'm paying taxes and we got some of value we're getting out of it, that's a different thing. But if like to do away with the property tax and do a flat sales tax or whatever, no matter how they do it, it needs to show some value to the taxpayer. Otherwise, it's pointless. We're throwing good money after bad.
Yes. And I have to say that I think that there's a bill on the Senate side where they're addressing picking up more of the school funding and centralizing K-12 education, and the schools are throwing a fit. Absolute fit. So it's a lose-lose situation until we find some common ground somewhere. And that common ground may be the elimination of property taxes, but it will be chaos for a while. There's no doubt. Yes?
I sympathize with the property tax. I teach at Garfield for really income tax, so at least you have to have a lot of income.
Yes.
So retirees, pay property tax on the schools. But I will say, one, no one is putting litter boxes anywhere. And two, I'm not condoning a huge property tax. I am not. I believe that's not what I'm saying. Like I said, I work in a place where they give income tax, so at least you have to have a viable, profitable income. You have to be at a certain age where you are making money to pay for that. But I just have to say, the community benefits from a good school. If the school is bad, if kids are not in school, they are stealing your stuff, and they, they're committing crimes. If you do not have a good school, the community suffers. And again, I'm not saying that for you to hand over your wallet. I am not saying that at all. There should be another way. It's not fair for people who have a fixed income to pay. I would 100%. But what I'm saying is, if you feel like you're getting nothing, bad schools chase kids away, and if they're not in school, bettering themselves, bettering the community, making bad news for themselves one way or the other. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, and I truly do believe it comes down to leadership in our schools. We need good leaders, and we have many of those here, and it's just making sure that we're all moving in the same direction. Is there anything I haven't addressed here tonight that you might, I am all ears if there's something you want me to know to take back to Columbus. I'm certainly going to take that back, the non-essential sales tax increase, and run that through policy and see what we get.
One more thing.
Yes.
Maybe, I think what they're proposing right now, or the legislative bills that are going to pass, I don't think, to me, it's not enough. It's not good enough, especially when they've had many years knowing that this isn't right, the way they're doing it. But I don't see that it has to be a total either or. You're looking at Hawaii, which is one with no property taxes. There's also things like, okay, you buy your house and you pay taxes on it. There's a thing of, okay, let's keep that all the time. Don't keep raising it all the time. There's 100% homestead where you reach 65 years old. You've paid taxes for 40, 50 years. Stop it. And, there's other things that, and I say, look at the other states in our nation that don't rely That doesn't mean they don't have any property tax, but they don't rely on it 100% or 90% from the schools.
Yes. And I just want to make a note that the homestead exemption, we currently have what's called a piggyback that the state has allowed the county or the county level to do. They can adopt a piggyback to double the homestead exemption today. And if they did that before December 31st of this year, it would kick in for January 1 of next year, which means that that homestead exemption would double. Right now, I think it's somewhere around 70,000 is tax credited, the first 70,000 of your appraisal. It would double to $140,000.
Yeah, but they don't explain to you how to do the calculation of it.
The county has to do it. The county has to adopt it.
The trouble with property taxes is subjective, not objective. If I mow my lawn, paint my house and that, and my neighbor has a whole bunch of junk in there and has, you know. I work at it to have a nice house and they don't,
Yes.
then my house is,
And
they say, boy, your house is worth a lot more than his.
the truth is that BlackRock is coming in and buying up all these properties all across the country. It's not just Ohio. It's a national issue, and it's a massive, what I would believe would be a scam. Wall Street bought 25% of Cleveland's market at the end of the last quarter. 25%. That's why our property taxes are skyrocketing. That's a federal issue. That's interstate commerce that needs to be addressed. And here we are trying to solve it in, yes, state
On a local
legislation.
level, yeah. There's, the other thing is like that, like somebody, they ought to abolish property tax, it'd be fine if you're still paying on your home. If it's in your mortgage, if it's in your escrow and you're paying it, that, I don't see a problem with. If your home's out and out paid for, it should be paid for, and you shouldn't have stand any chance in hell of losing it.
Absolutely.
So are they gonna do anything like that? Are they doing anything
But
like that?
you missed,
I haven't seen anything yet.
you missed some payments.
Most people don't realize.
Or make it for seniors.
Again, it's not an issue I have a problem with addressing. It's an issue that we cannot get the majority to agree. We were convened back over the summer to override the governor's veto. He vetoed all of our property tax relief at the end of the spring. All came back over the summer to override that veto, and even in our Republican caucus, we couldn't get the votes to override. We need more people who are willing to fight this battle. And I'm telling you, there were only about a dozen of us who were on the Doge caucus that was willing to cut the waste in our state government.
That's a shame.
Did you hear about the one school that had a leaking roof?
Yes.
And they spent the money to get it repaired. It was still under warranty.
Yes, and this
And
again
nobody
is,
caught that.
it's really important to choose the strongest leaders. Does anybody have one more question? I gotta turn it back to our very patient.
John Plagman, have you talked to him personally, or has he met with any of you?
No, but I've talked to Brian Massey and some of the others in that group.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think that this is a 70% approval rate, you think it's gonna happen by next year?
It
By
is,
next vote in November?
it's polling a 72% approval rating, even in a Republican party. 72% approval. If they can get the 500,000 signatures to get it on the ballot, it will be on the ballot next fall, and we expect that it will absolutely pass. You will be attacked, be ready. When we get to that point, everybody will come against the people at that point. Go ahead.
I spoke to David Joseph about this, I don't remember who that is. He seems to be on our side.
Yes, he is. Yes, many of us are. Many of us are. It's a question of how are we going to fund everything that we've come to enjoy and appreciate in our communities.
The sad part is, you and your organizations now that are there had to deal with it. When I was down there, we just ignored it.
This should have been addressed before the increases kicked in, so that we wouldn't have experienced that 37% increase. I have a friend very near to me who had his increase at 114%. He couldn't afford it. He had to forego his medications to be able to pay his property taxes. I'll take one more. Go ahead.
This homestead exemption that you're talking about, how poor do you have to be to get it?
How poor do you have to be?
Yeah.
Anybody over the age of 65 gets the first $67,000 of their tax appraisal picked up by the state of Ohio.
But if you make over $24,000 a year, get out of here, don't need it.
I think we've doubled that.
No,
Or
I think it's up to
50
40,
now.
isn't it?
It's up to 50, I think.
I thought it was 40 on the last time I.
But even so, that's still not enough. It's still not enough. We We need to do more. Our seniors shouldn't be paying property taxes at all. That's how I feel about it. But getting everybody else to feel like I do is nearly impossible. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here tonight.
Nice to see you.
Please always reach out if you need anything. Thank you.
You're welcome to, you don't have to.
We'll take a 5-minute recess so everyone can settle in. So 6:40.
I know, I just forwarded to you, what's your, yeah. Yeah, is that correct? Henry, not my old 25. All right, see you. Thanks. I bought it right now. I got it dropped. Not, okay, not to where my pricing was, because I got a price, they will not match my pricing. But they did drop it $150,000 to the tune of $3,800 just in tax.
That was a lot of good conversation. We'll move on to communications. Tracy, I'll open it up to you first. Do you have any communications? Okay. Ed?
I do not have.
Laura?
I do not.
I have a communication from the Cowan County Combined Health, General Health District. They're just asking us about any additions to their stormwater geographic maps to see if we have any differences. I understand we do not.
All the same.
All the same. I will communicate that back to them. And that is the only communication that I have, unless anyone else has anything. We will move on to public commentary. Do we have anyone signed up for public commentary? Okay. Department updates. We'll start with the road department and maintenance.
So, all the plows and spreaders are out and ready for the season. Moved over the snow blower and brooms and stuff today, actually, this morning. We do have one main thing. We need to see if we can get a resolution for our salt contract. Morgan got the contract this year, requesting 125 tons.
That would be resolution number 25-7. We accept it.
Can we shut that door? I would appreciate it, thank you. All right, salt contract, tell us more, what do you got?
So, Morton won the contract. They didn't give me the definitive cost for this year. He said it was similar to last year's price, which I believe was $45 a ton.
43 or 45, something like that.
So requesting 125 tons. We had more of a stockpile last year, and then we got some towards the early spring there.
46, 45 last year.
46, 45. So, but we only got about 50 ton or 60 ton down in the shed right now. So requesting that we approve 125 ton for this contract. It's just
I'll make a motion that we do resolution 25-7 for mortar salt for the road salt for this year.
I'll second.
I vote yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Okay, next on the list, the International Max Force, when we had it in for that last repair, we were looking at, so that was a water pump. I know that was already approved on that. Under more inspection on that, I guess. So we had some issues with the steering on it. We got one kingpin that's hanging up a little bit on the driver top. So we're gonna look to have that replaced along with the front shocks. Starting to drag, that's the original one. The truck's a 2010. We've got two tires on the rear that I'd like to see replaced for snow season. So estimated cost of around $4,500. Nothing else foreseen, but if we can do like a $4,500 or a $5,000 blanket on that in case something else needs to be added to it as we're having repairs done.
Where do you want to take it?
K&D Truck Service.
That's for the repairs. The tires will be a different place.
Correct. Tires will come from Best One out of Lines.
What did we do with that truck last month? We had a $3,000 estimate. Is that's just expanded from the $3,000 estimate
Yes.
we had last month?
Yes.
Yeah, off the same, yeah, because we had the repairs in the estimate, yep. So just wanted to, we didn't move forward with it. I want to wait till this meeting to discuss all that.
Well, of course, we can make a blanket amount, but hopefully we can always stay under that amount if that was the goal. I'll make a motion that we take the International Max Force to K&D for the repairs and to Best One Tires and Alliance for the two tires, and budget up to $5,000 for that.
I'll second that.
I vote yes.
Laura? Yes. Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
And one other thing I don't have on my list, it wasn't really mentioned, I guess, in the last meeting, I forgot to put it in the notes, but it was just that the county come out and did a couple miles of road striping for us. I know that I'm still working with them up there. They want to do actually get something in writing, because this was a handshake deal from my understanding, that we maintain North Street for Winter and Cobb, and in return, they stripe 2 miles of road for us and provide 20 ton of salt.
I thought you had the salt swipe, you want to put something in writing for that?
The county would like to do something, so I just want to, I'll get something written
Yeah.
from them, but. just
Have them
wanna-
send it over, we'll have the attorney look at it.
Yep,
Yep.
just want to make sure we brought it up this round, so.
It seems to have been working pretty well so far.
Right, we usually comes out in our favor, I think, depending on the season, so. That's all I got on the roads, or anything, the main stuff there. We can jump over to the cemeteries. We've had 2 burials since the last meeting, one at Deerfield, one at Hartsville Cemetery Road, both full burials. Weather cooperated on those, so we were good. Still used the mats on both of them. So those have been very handy since the purchase of those as well. And then we're gonna do one more mowing, just to finish mulching leaves, especially at Hartsville Cemetery. They come down pretty heavy. So we'll be out there this week, getting those cleared up. And we're across the circle again before we start cleaning over up for the season. And then we did have to do a repair, the skag, I believe, falls under that cemetery mower as well, but, so our skag needed a new starter put on it. We purchased a switch, a starter, air filter, oil filter, all's one, $329.
I needed a new what, I'm sorry.
With a new starter.
Starter.
Was the main thing, yeah. So we did an oil filter, air filter, oil change, and did new ignition switch and starter, all in one. So it was $329 total cost on that. And then,
I'll make a motion that we pay the $329 amounts for repair of the skag mower.
I'll second it.
Yes.
Laura? Yes. Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. It's under 500, but it doesn't hurt to make the motion.
Only because we did it between meetings, it had to be done, so.
we did get the 440 Steiner back. They did get that replaced, replaced some bushings in the front that must have been an upgrade, and then did a new steering cylinder on that and new packing. So we did get that back. I don't have a total cost on that one, but I know it's approved by our meeting for repairs on that. So
$663, something in that area right there.
Sounds good
They
to
haven't
me.
invoiced it yet, but it's somewhere in the area of $660. Or you do have to check there.
Yeah, I did end up getting it.
Okay.
Just today.
Okay.
This morning at the post office.
and then we've got
Time to get paid.
the other thing at the cemetery is that the building that we've had one guy working on repainting, cleaning up, replacing wood. That's pretty well wrapped up. He's got a repair to do on the gutter, and that will just be buttoned up for the season. So, yeah. Yep. And then all in all, that's all the main things on what I had.
Update on the cemetery fence.
I don't have anything. You already-
I do. I've sent some information into Assistant Prosecutor Maduri.
Okay.
He's been out Friday, he was out today, so I'm waiting to hear back on when his next move is.
Okay. So we will continue to work on trying to get that fence replaced. Anything else for buildings and grounds?
I have one thing, the refrigerator right here. We had the repair guy come out, he really couldn't find a lot wrong with it. It wasn't cooling when he was here. He said that is a sealed unit. If it does not work, he said there's really no way of fixing it economically. You're better off to purchase a whole new refrigerator. So I plugged it in a couple of times since then. It gets cold, it stays cold. I've unplugged it. Right now it's 37 degrees, just like it's supposed to. So lack of a better explanation, I'm gonna think somebody put a case of water in there, and if you put it in there, the door stays cracked open. And I don't know that yet, but right now I checked it 2 times. It's been 37 degrees in the last week, so that's where it's supposed to be. So
Just have to keep an eye on
I
it.
say we keep an eye on it. If we have more trouble with it, we'll have to readdress it, but for now,
It's running.
we're out $99 for the guy to
Did
come
he
out.
look at the smoke
He
burners
did take a
too?
quick look at it. He didn't charge us for it.
Okay.
But I've turned that on and off 30 times, it comes on. There was aluminum foil wrapped in the pans around there and everything. He suggested that comes off because if aluminum foil makes contact with the burner, you can short those electric burners out, is what he said. So I did take the aluminum foil off the burner, off the pan around the bottom of the burner. So,
Very good. Anything else for buildings and grounds? Going once, going twice. Moving on to fire department. Captain Bardelli, I'll give you the floor.
In October, we ran 28 EMS calls, 11 fire calls, 2 MVA. We're up to 337 calls for the year. Engine 14 was pump tested. They found several leaking valves. They were fixed. The generator is still broke. It was taken off while being repaired and sent to the company to be fixed. Well, the radio for the new engine is in. We're waiting on the title to be put in our name. We're still hoping to have it in service by the first of the year. Tanker 14 needs to go to Apple Creek and have valves fixed. We're kind of puzzling it along until we can get it through the right side, not pushing water again.
Do you have a quote on that?
I do not.
is that the same one we had
It's the
replaced
same one.
last year?
Yeah, the gate valve was golden on that, so I don't know, we'll make a recommendation to have them go to a butterfly valve or something on that.
Okay.
Like they did.
Same valves or just same valves on the same vehicle?
Same location on the truck.
Same
Same
location,
location.
yeah.
So the last fix didn't work?
It will
did
last
for a while.
a year,
Okay.
a little over a year.
Do we have a ballpark of what that will cost?
I
Do we
think-
know what we paid last year?
I don't. If they change the valve, I believe that the new style valve is around 1,200, but we have to take the truck to Apple Creek to have them go through it, so.
I mean, do you need a quote now, or do you want to address like an amount now to get it fixed, a motion now, or do you want to wait?
So they're gonna, I believe, from my understanding, and not to cut you off there on that, but they're gonna wait it out until because the engine has to go back to Fallsway, get the
Okay.
generator reinstalled, so that we're not down a tanker and an engine at the same time.
So you want to wait?
We'll wait till that one.
Can you bring us a quote next time, that way we can coordinate that? Perfect, thank you.
10/24, we did make the football game with a medic as the EMR.
Did you get a free hot dog?
I didn't get anything, I was in Columbus, so I don't know what they got. We have 5 members doing very well in their 36-hour class, and next week should be their last class. 11/2/25, we had a multi-agency extrication training at Sebring. It was 3 rotations on school buses, so they had one flipped over, a car under one, so we learned how to use the bags to raise it and stuff, so that was a really good class. The ones who weren't in class went to that training, so it was pretty valuable. Can we get an update on the NOPEC money for the lights in the engine, or the firehouse station?
We do not have a quote yet.
Okay. And the fire department would like to congratulate Trustee Havens and Substance on winning the election, and thank Trustee Dean for his dedication to our community.
I have a question. It was brought to my attention, it's not a bad thing. It was brought to my attention that we have some miscommunication with how we're getting the physical reports when people are going to get their physicals. Alicia, you're here, do you know anything about that? That it's maybe not getting to the person?
I'll let her handle it, she's the one who calls.
If the fire department tells me who they want the physical reports to go to, I can arrange that. Do we know who we want to have them? I'm getting blank stares. Okay. So, if a representative from the fire department wants to reach out to me, I know Tim said
Right,
he's been
we
doing
have
some
a
stuff
few
with that.
we have a few that in the class that they not, like, I know I don't see those.
Right.
I don't know who gets those.
Well, that's the
If
problem.
you
Tell
get-
me who you want. I'm not getting them. Tell me who you want to get them and I'll make an arrangement for you to get them.
Well, I have to say, when I went and had my physical done, I'm the one that received the copy of my physical when I was done with my physical.
Yes.
They made a copy, put it into my file there, they gave me the actual physical copy back to bring back.
Which, I mean, that makes sense, but they, the
Correct.
way I understood, they were expecting to get copies of them sent.
That's not occurring.
Okay? If someone wants to let me know who wants them to get sent to, who they want them to be sent to, I can do that. So if somebody just wants to send me a message or call me and let me know.
I'll figure it out. I'll get
Okay.
some.
We do have to speak about the fire, our dispatch service, because we have to make a new contract before the end of before the next meeting. We had representatives from both the Portage County Sheriff's Department and also from Ravenna Dispatch come and give us speeches. I know, Laura, did you make arrangements to go and tour?
Yes, I went and on Friday, I toured both, Ravenna Dispatch and the Sheriff's.
Okay, so I'll open this up to discussion. Any thoughts on if we'd like to continue with Ravenna or if we'd like to switch to the Sheriff's Department? Because there's positives and negatives on both sides.
There are. One of the things, and I always try to put residents first. I have a lot of elderly people that live on my road who may need to call dispatch, okay? I'll give you a scenario. Somebody calls, they have breathing problems, can't breathe, they call. All the calls automatically go to the Sheriff's Department, no matter what. They go right there. That's the first call. Then the Sheriff's Department decides, whether it's sheriff, EMS, fire, what it is. Then it gets transferred over to Ravenna. Well, the law requires the patient, the person calling, to give all their information and tell them what's wrong, where they live. They have to do all that to the Sheriff's Department. Then it gets transferred to Ravenna. Now they have to tell the whole story again to Ravenna. I'm Jane Doe, I live on 225, I can't breathe, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now they're gonna dispatch to whoever the tones go to Deerfield, okay? If there's no one working, no one answers, tones go out again. Now, if there's no one there, now they activate the Mavis. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mutual aid.
Mutual aid, okay, based on the Mavis.
So for the
Okay.
last couple of months, it's not gone to 2 tones. If Scott knows nobody's working, he'll call dispatch right away.
Okay.
Have him send somebody else, so that, but yes, it does go to 2 tones.
Right,
You're
and then it goes to whoever's on the list for mutual aid,
Right.
okay?
And the time between that, just so you know, is, so Deerfield gets toned right now and nobody answers. They wait approximately 4 to 5 minutes before they retone.
Okay.
So that, you've just lost 5 more minutes.
Right, there's 5 minutes. So the poor person that can't breathe or is sick, has chest pain, they've had to give their name and information and their symptoms to the Sheriff's Department, and it's automatically gonna go to the Sheriff's Department. And they both are required by law to get that information. So if I can't breathe and I'm sick, or I fell off the horse and I'm laying in the woods and I'm calling from my cell phone, I really don't want to have to tell you twice that I'm laying out in the pasture and I can't get up because something's broke or I'm bleeding or I hit my head. I don't want to have to do it twice. So I have to think if it's me sick calling in, I literally would be aggravated if someone else got on the phone and they're like, we're starting over. So residents first, patients first. My vote is that we go with the Sheriff's Department. It's a time saver, and we're not asking our residents to go through it twice. And we do rely on mutual aid, and it's just taking longer and longer because now we have to tell it twice. So that's my opinion on that.
And the benefit also of going with the Sheriff's Department, a lot of times when we're in peculiar situations, it allows us to get an officer on scene with us quicker.
One of the things I considered as well is that's a big factor is people come before money. I know, Ravenna did come in August and give us a price, and then they came back in, October, and gave us a lower price. You know, people come before money, but also that when we're paying fees into the sheriff's department, it goes into our county instead of to
Yes,
Ravenna City
and
as well.
if we pay Ravenna, it goes to the city of Ravenna. So if you pay the sheriff, it goes to the county general fund, which may be a little bit more of benefit to us. We're not benefiting from the city of Ravenna.
Well,
That's one of those old people.
Where?
I don't see any old people here at all.
I thought this for many years. If we can get the sheriff to dispatch us, why go through more steps?
Amen, that's my thought on it.
So is that a motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we use the PCSO dispatch.
Yes.
It's a hard decision, but I'd like to second that. I would like to go with the sheriff's department as well.
And everybody at Ravenna were very nice. This is not a snub on them. They're very
I'll vote
nice.
yes.
They're very nice, and they're very nice at the sheriff's office. Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Okay.
I will call them tomorrow and let them know.
Okay.
Put that on my to-do list.
Well, and Laura, one more thing to that. Think about how long if it was you calling to describe and give all this information. And the same thing, let's just say somebody's trapped, it's a fire. You know, everybody complains about how long it takes us to get out of the firehouse. Think about all of those channels when they're on the phone needing help, and you have to go through all of these channels, and all you want is help.
Right. And it would infuriate me to have to start over and explain it again.
And the last time that we had to make these decisions, the sheriff's department was just expanding their services. They weren't really up and rolling to take on more years ago, but they are now, so I feel good about that decision. All right.
Yes, you have a question? Yes.
I was just gonna say, from a fire department perspective, I've had 3 different dispatches. I've had Centcom, which I don't even think exists anymore. I've had Ravenna City, and I've had the sheriff's office. And I would say from a fire department perspective, the sheriff's office provides a much better service. I like Ravenna City. I like all the people out there. They're very nice. I'm on a first name basis with quite a few of the dispatchers, but the sheriff's office, it is quicker. We do get information a lot faster. A lot of the dispatchers up there are fire department members as well,
Right.
so they ask a lot of questions that help give us a lot more information.
Well, the other thing was they give a more detailed report
Yes.
back.
Yep.
And I saw an example of a detailed report, and
Yes.
you don't get that with Ravenna.
No.
So, and then if you call back, then Ravenna's constantly the middleman.
Yes.
So, and then it's just more time, so.
So a perfect example, like Alicia was saying with mutual aid, if you happen to call Atwater is dispatched by the sheriff's office. So you call 911, you're gonna get the sheriff's office. You need an ambulance in Deerfield, they're gonna transfer it to Ravenna City. And then say Deerfield needs some extra equipment or something, and they need help from Atwater, it's gonna get transferred back to the sheriff's office for them to dispatch Atwater.
So it's gonna be a time saver.
Yeah,
And that's the most important thing, because you only call for EMS help when you're in a pickle.
We already approved it, so. I mean, it's redundant talking, because we already approved going to the sheriff's department for all the reasons everyone's speaking about.
But just so
now,
everyone knows, they're not holding us to a contract, so if we decide that we need to make changes down the road, we can.
We can,
And
yep.
so we'll call that a done deal.
As Eddie said, we've already you made the decision.
Decisions
done.
made. Thanks for the
It's done.
reinforcement.
The sheriff's department.
Thanks for the reinforcement.
It's done.
Can I ask a question of the fire department? An explanation of why it took at least 45 minutes for a squad to show up at the church a month ago with an 80-year-old lady laying on
I
the
can
ground.
answer that.
I'll answer for you, because I was the one that left what I was there.
Well, she's sitting right here.
Yeah.
So, on the person that was on schedule, did not call us and let us know she was not coming in, so nobody knew. When we got the page, I was in Craig Beach, or Lake Milton, eating breakfast. I came from there, so it took me however long from there to here. Edinburgh did not respond with us. Edinburgh, no. Berlin didn't have anybody on either, so they couldn't come. I called Atwater. Their chief was the only one in town because they had people off. They responded, so I don't think it was 45 minutes, but, well, I mean, I can look at the numbers, I don't have. I understand, it does, and when it's an emergency, it always seems like that, but I can guarantee it wasn't 45 minutes. It didn't take, sorry.
You were there.
I know, it was me and my wife were there, and I called Jay Roberts,
And
and
the
she.
SWAT got there, we're talking a 45 minutes.
Right,
from the beginning.
because there was nobody on that Atwater.
Is there anybody on the Deerfield that brings SWAT?
Well, I just told you they called in sick and nobody knew. She didn't even call, actually,
Did
so.
you bring the SWAT?
No, I'm not, I can't bring the SWAT.
You can't bring the SWAT.
I cannot, no. I can bring it, but we're gonna sit there and look at it until somebody else comes and gets it.
He's not trained to.
I'm not an EMT, that's not.
It's fire.
Now, if you want a fire truck, I'll bring it all day long. There's people that are EMT and there's people that are fire, so.
I work for a city.
Right, and the paramedic that was on did not call, so I had no clue. I was not even here. We came, I found out she wasn't there. I notified the chief. He didn't know she wasn't there. She didn't call, like I said. I don't know what happened to her. That's above my pay grade. But I provided what I thought was care and called for the next available squad, which was that one.
Lucky the lady survived with a broken hip.
Yeah. That was Miss Jean.
Go ahead.
We have room for improvement, there's no doubt.
Lots of room.
Thank
I hope you guys can do it.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. It is an imperfect system.
We're not getting any younger.
But we're not gonna do any more commentary, but I appreciate your comment, thank you. On that note, I also wanted to bring up Mavis, because I just learned that a few weeks ago it was changed, and are you able to give an update on that? We definitely need an update on the Mavis.
Again, that goes down.
Well, when you're here, you're in the hot seat, I ask you because
That's fine, I mean,
yeah.
I honestly don't know what it is. I don't know, if you ask me right now, I can tell you.
Do you have an
What
update
is
on that?
Yeah, it was changed
Because-
a week after the last meeting. Ravenna Dispatch gave me a copy.
Okay.
So, well, this, I don't have it, this is just my.
Oh, I have it.
I don't have it. Because I think, we've had discussions about Mavis in the past. And if anybody doesn't know, Mavis is our directive for mutual aid. So when somebody calls in to a certain quadrant of our township, we have a list of who gets called for mutual aid. If we don't have enough help, we don't have help. But can we please bring a report to that at the next meeting about Mavis? I want to just make sure that we're all up to date on what we're doing with Mavis and why. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying it's right, I just want to learn more about what
So
we're
are
doing.
Okay, I have.
Fire side or?
All of it,
EMS?
EMS and fire.
Well, I didn't get the fire, I just got the EMS.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mavis.
All I heard was that it changed and I didn't know it had changed.
So the EMS should not have changed.
Well, she said.
I don't know, I'm asking.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
What she said, I'm telling you, it shouldn't have changed. EMS should stay the way it is.
Okay.
So how it is now, it's in the quadrants.
I get it.
So quadrant number 1, which is going towards Palmyra on the east side. First call out is Berlin Center. Second is Palmyra. Third is Sebring. Quadrant 4, which is the North Benton quadrant. First call out Sebring. Second call out Berlin. Third call out Damascus. Now we go on the northwest side. Okay, so 224 divides the line. So if you live on my side of 224, north of 224, if I have an emergency, first call is going out to Edinburgh, second to Palmyra, third to Atwater. And I'm literally like less than a mile from Atwater, so I don't know why that would go out that way. And then right below me, my neighbor's right across the street. First call Atwater, that's great, they're right down the street. Second call Sebring, third call Berlin. So I don't know why that changed.
There might be good reasons, I would just love to.
I don't know, I'm not part of it.
Can you have can you get a report at it the next
as to why that was?
All right. Anything else for the fire department?
I'm sorry. I really need to go back because what I'm hearing is, I wasn't involved, but what I'm hearing is you had a person call off and nobody knew about it and you had an emergency. And I haven't heard anybody say one word about how you're going to rectify that. That concerns me as a citizen of Deerfield.
Understand?
And I'd really like to hear some sort of, I know things happen. Nobody's
You can't
perfect.
tell, that's it now, they have to discuss this some other time.
So here's.
But it's very disturbing as a resident that somebody doesn't know that your paramedic on duty called off sick and nobody knows about it. That's a bit of an issue.
Okay, so on Sunday, she's supposed to be there at 7. She did not call anybody.
No, I understand.
I'm just gonna let you know.
Okay.
I am in charge of the fire side, so anything fire related falls under me.
Okay.
Our EMS captain or whoever the captain is over that side, she did not call him. I don't know, I mean, if you're supposed to work, I don't go check on your adults, so I didn't know she wasn't there. Now, the chief is the one that will have to take care of what is done to her. I can't.
Okay, and I'm not asking you specifically, I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, I understand.
But it is a concern, and I hear nothing from anybody about what action steps were taken with this situation where somebody's life could have been in peril, apparently.
Can you bring a report next meeting as well about what we're doing about when people call off until we have an action plan?
All right, I appreciate that.
Can I clarify too, for our department as volunteer, several of us went through the class together to be EMRs, so we're under EMTs. So we can't take the ambulance out unless there's an EMT or higher. There have to be 2 medical personnel on the ambulance. So we can respond, if you're having a heart attack, I can respond, I can give you CPR, because we're first responders. You guys know that we're first responders. EMRs are first responders. So if it's an issue that needs immediate help, like, we can do what we can, but we can't bring the squad if it's coming. So we can respond to the scene if it's an emergency where you need something immediately, and we can do what we can, but we can't bring the squad unless there's an EMT or higher coming along with us. So we can get there quickly if we're around, because it's a volunteer department, so when we get the call, if we're close by, we can come and respond, but we can't bring the ambulance without an EMT or higher. So if somebody else doesn't respond, then it kicks into mutual aid. So we might get there, and we might be waiting for mutual aid to come. So we can't bring the squad as EMRs. We can only bring it as EMTs. So a lot of us on the department learn to be EMT class. So we do have first responder capabilities, but we don't have the ability to bring the ambulance if an EMT or higher is not there, because we can't transport without two.
Which in that case, the chief from Atwater was the only one available at that time, which thankfully Todd and I both were there because we ended up getting in his ambulance and going with him, which made us a crew that was able to transport that patient.
Yeah. So there is sometimes a time delay to get mutual aid, and other departments have the same problem where they might have one person, but until that second person shows up, they can't transport either. So if it's, I mean, it just happens that way sometimes.
But that's what we're staffing, we're only staffing one. So
Right.
regardless, every call that comes out, you're relying on a volunteer responder.
Right.
And just talk real quick, I'm sorry. Checks and balances, so like, assumedly somebody would have got off shift at 7. I'm gonna assume nobody was working or there wasn't any coverage that night, so the check and balance that says the person that got off shift at 7 would have made a phone call to upper management and said, hey, Susie Lynn didn't show up. Am I leaving? Am I saying what am I doing, right? Is that correct?
So that is another reason why having 2 on the department would be beneficial, because then you can transport, no matter what the emergency is, we can transport. So just thinking down the road, having 2 people on station benefits everybody.
speak for the Board of Trustees and say we're all concerned with that, and you're, come up with an action plan and dig a little deeper into that. Anything else for the fire department? All right, moving on. Blight properties, we have until January 16th to petition for grant money through Portage County. If anyone has a blight property by you that you really want us to look into, now is the time. Call us. If you don't know what a blight property is, I see lots of questions. I didn't know what it meant until I was a trustee either. Disparaging homes, things that are run down, left abandoned. Don't give me a list now, send it to me. Call me, text me, email me, or any of us. If you've got something on your road that you drive by and you say, I wish somebody would do something about that, let us know now, because, well, don't tell me now, even, I know what you're saying. Please, just send us the things we can look into it, and the county has some money to look into that for us, to help us with the attorneys and all of that, so we don't always get that opportunity. Speak now or forever hold your peace. If anybody wants to complain about a blight property after January 16th, I'm gonna say, where were you in November?
But the system does work.
If we, well, we can try it, yeah.
It worked in the past.
Yeah, so calling all crap houses, let us know.
Quick question, did the fire department get a new phone number? People on the internet, you gotta,
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
what is the phone number of the fire department? Can you call directly?
Yeah, yes, you could, I'd have to get it, but yes, you can call them.
The old phone number that we've had for years?
584-2222.
But if you look on the internet, there's a different phone number.
What is that, like a business number?
I should wrote it down, like 25% or something.
If you call 330-584-2222, does it go right to dispatch?
It goes to the
station.
First goes to the fire department.
And then if no one answers, then it goes to dispatch?
Yes.
Or does it
The
fall?
2222 number is like the station number. I would call that the non-emergency number. 911 will still work. Call 911. If it's not an emergency, call the 584-2222 number. If it's not an emergency, you call the 222. If it's
He's calling it now.
All right.
Hey, I have,
Yeah.
she brought up during it, it just came to me on the fire department. The survey.
I have it. I just got it. I received it today, Laura.
The survey, the district?
Yeah.
Survey?
In my hand.
It's done?
It's in my hand, 16 pages.
Okay. All right, I was gonna ask, where is it? Now we know.
It
There you go.
just got handed to me today.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. No PEC money. We used up all that 3,000 we're going to. Where are we with that with the fire department?
I did not get a price on lighting.
Okay. Would you like, are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because we have the
I'll have it for the
3,000.
next
Can we
meeting.
use all of that up with
Yeah.
lights?
Yeah, easily.
Okay, I was gonna say, if not, let's get a new stove or fridge. Yep, okay.
We can't get a new stove, we can't get a new fridge because we're already on the energy.
We already purchased these just 2 or 3 years ago.
So it has to be lights.
I'll let that
No, it
fly.
has to be something that
else.
they haven't done it, they replaced Timmy's refrigerator, they replaced our refrigerator, microwave stove.
Okay, fine. As long as we're using it.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. So, Laura,
Yes.
we need to make sure that we have sent out everything for that Ohio plan training.
Yes. I sent everybody an email. Did you get an email? Because I sent it to your email for the sexual harassment training.
I got it.
Okay. Okay, so what happens is you print out that list, have your people put their name, address, and title in their email, fax that in, and the girls in the office can fax it in, whatever, and then the Ohio plan lady, she'll send each person a link to their individual email. Yep. So all you gotta do is gather the info and get it back to her. She'll handle it from there. Yep.
And she said that when we talked to her, she said that Tim, because some of them didn't really have emails, it was hard for them, so they could do like a group thing. She said that would be fine as long as Tim, being supervisor,
Right, was there.
sat there with them.
Yeah,
And
make
then
sure they're
he-
watching.
Yes, and then he just gave her a hard copy of their name,
Yeah.
and then she would print them out a certificate.
Perfect.
So that they don't have to go online.
They can do that at work if they want
And
to.
she said the fire department can do the same thing. They can schedule it as long as there's an officer that will sign for them, write the list, and
I think Derek did his on an Excel spreadsheet and sent it in, that's what he said.
So just a suggestion, maybe the fire department make a time to do that, and that way people don't have an email or don't want to do it on their own, everybody can do it together, but they're welcome to do it on their own. Huh? Perfect, okay. Problem solved, just we have to make sure we get that done by the end of the year. All right, old business, the Portage Parks grant resolution. Has everyone had a chance to look that over?
I do, and I have many questions.
Okay?
The dollar amount for the parking lot, 22,000 or whatever, where did you get that amount? That is not even close to what that's gonna cost, I don't think.
I got a quote from a local company on that. I have the quote. And I guess it's not put in here. I do have a quote for that. So I have, actually Chris's Concrete gave me a quote for that they could do that at that price. However, before we would actually hire that, we would have to go through the bidding process and make sure there wasn't a better bid. Give everybody an opportunity. So he, and he's here today, so he can answer questions about that. His final number for that, which was a big part of that budget, was $24,500. It can be done for that. No, that's, I mean,
Just wonder where you got the number.
and if he is,
There's no spaces in the ground.
and if he is still, and he is still the lowest bid, you know, but we would open that up, so, because that's a part of the contract, you have to open it up to bidding, just like we would for anything else.
That's fine.
I just got bids to get a proposal, so it wasn't no one's been hired for any of the work yet.
Yeah, no, I understood that. I just wonder where you got that at. That's just extremely low, I think, but if he can do it for that, God bless him. The other, I have a couple other questions too.
Okay.
No motion was made by the board to do that. We talked about pursuing it. We did not make a motion. I'm only saying because of liabilities and legality stuff. We did not make a motion as a board to pursue that grant. We did not talk as a board of what we're going to ask to do with that grant. We did not ask a fiscal officer if the money was available to do this before we accepted the bid. All this stuff was supposed to have been done prior to this, and we didn't do any of it, so I just have concerns about it. Why?
We had open discussion about me going for the bid.
Right,
But
right.
we don't ever approve anything until we actually accept it. So we don't have to accept it. Maybe I did all the work for nothing. But I don't mind doing the work
The
if we
way
can
I'm
get the
reading the
bid.
application, though, all that stuff had to have been submitted with the paperwork.
No, they're asking for the approval now.
So it didn't have to be submitted with the paperwork.
No, I sent nothing signed, no contracts. It was just a bid.
Okay, I'm good with that. You answered that. The other questions I have are, the township will cover the cost of extra stuff. There's no dollar amount on that.
There is.
There is a dollar amount for fence posts and stuff not to exceed.
So the fence posts, I talked to Tim about that. We have a lot of them in stock now. We have fence posts, we have extra boards running around, and most of them actually don't need replaced. They need reset. So they need reset.
Okay, just asking.
No, I thought about it, yep. I welcome the discussion. So most of them need reset, and we have some 2x4s, I think, laying around, or 4x4s, excuse me. I've got some in my old barn if we need a couple of extra just to make that work, but the cost of 4x4s to replace a few would be a very nominal cost. Most of them just need reset. They weren't really placed for
Yeah, most of them
they're
are
all
just
leaning.
heaved out of the ground.
Yep, and I'd rather reuse what we have and just reset them. And I did get the approval from the prosecuting attorney that the contract was sound. They had no issues with that back in October. But any other concerns we should bring up before we do it, because I want to make sure we do it right.
That's all I have. I just have those questions.
And I did speak
You don't
with,
have any prevailing wage concerns with these dollar amounts or anything?
we would have
There are a
to,
lot of competitive bid statutes in the state of Ohio. I think you're misrepresenting the cost. Because this gentleman who provided the number just said you did not have a specification, nothing to bid by. You're just guessing, right?
no, he went out and actually measured it.
Measured it. What are you going to use? I mean, there's a lot more to this than I think you realize. I mean, we just completed a Shaler'sville parking lot that was twice this size, but it publicly bid, and it was about $300,000. So you're telling me you're going to do a job for $224,000. It requires that you read a grant, ADA compliant spaces, which have to be poured.
Yeah, none of that was, so does our pavilion down here, and that doesn't either, so does our fire station, and that doesn't have that either.
Well, if you're taking a grant, you should probably do it for your grant.
But no,
And of
I
course,
don't
we have to
have
get everything
information
approved
from
by
the
parks
grant
as
at
well.
all. What I was instructed was,
I would make sure you read it before you engage in a contract with the township.
I'm not engaging in a contract.
No.
They sent me down there and said, look at this.
I would
area,
be
tell us
cautious is what I'm saying, because I was asked to give a budgetary number, and I don't think you, I mean, we put in $100 million plus worth of work in Portage County in the last 8 years. I mean, I'm gonna say be cautious.
And this
Because
is
when I
not-
was explained to this number, it was concerning enough that I came to a meeting. You know, I don't think you consider all the ramifications, and that's why I'm here.
Okay.
If you're worried about the ADA compliancy, we don't have that anywhere in Deerfield. And every project that has been.
Your new project, every single project, and if somebody falls, we're just talking about a lady falling in the volunteer
And
fire
can you tell me if
department,
this over
I
here
would be
requires
very
a parking
concerned.
spot or not?
At this time, there is not, but that's that project. We're talking
Well,
about.
is it required at that time? Because you told me out of your own mouth that it was required to be over there. The fire station over here, when they did all
As
of
a
that.
contractor, I
it
would say the
that's
limit your
your
liability, you should report it for ADA compliance.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
Now,
it.
lay a level on there, and it should be 1.58%. If it's more than that, it shouldn't make you tear it down.
And if that,
Honestly.
I don't think you're.
But the final inspection came in and they did
something
approve that for you, so.
Because the city would make you tear
They
it
have
down.
chosen to backdoor and not actually do what was required with both of those projects.
Well, were they funded, or were they funded, or were they donated? That is also a different level standard.
It doesn't matter, it's a permit required.
Well, and just to let everyone know, this is a very primitive parking space. Right now, people are parking in grass and there is nothing. And in the springtime, when we have events and we have ball games, we have no parking. This is to gravel an area to make it dry, so we're not tearing up our property when people park on their cars on the grass or in the areas where they're not supposed to. It's very dangerous where we have just a small driveway with people going both ways. So this would be an overall improvement. And this is a brand new grant from Portage Parks, and they're very willing to work with us. They want to work with us. They agreed to let us give them some landmarks of where we could be to get reimbursed instead of doing it all at once. And they promised us that when we're reimbursed, as soon as we submit, we would get a check that week. So we're not waiting for months to be reimbursed. They're very willing to work and help with us. They want to see us improve the park. So, but I'm open to the concerns because these are all things you have to think about. But right now, we have no parking at all when it comes to, just besides what we have for the garage now. So I certainly don't want to turn down grant money to improve some of our facilities. But I'm open to the discussion of any other concerns.
They're gonna pay as you go, right?
So what they want us to do, and I've spoken to Tim about this, because he's going to, of course, be involved as our ground supervisor, is we're gonna give them some landmarks about what we wanna do. They'll come out and look at it, and when it's done, they would reimburse us. So they will give us, we can't just say, okay, we've been working on this 2 weeks, write us a check. We have to have some check benchmarks of where we're meeting with them. So, but like I said, they're very willing to work with us on that, and they will reimburse us for whatever we put towards this. So, Yeah, a lot of details will have to be worked out, but the proposal was an estimate. Everything that we do except, if we're just going to buy things like the chain to fix the fence and things, but any work we would have to bid out and take the lowest bid or the best bid, whatever. So it all has to be done a certain way. But in speaking with them and talking about some of our challenges, they're very welcoming about working with us on it. They want to see us use the money. And if anybody really is an expert on native plants of the area, we have to plant all native plants when we do landscaping, so, yes.
Well, you should need to consider that in cost, because that's expensive.
Yes, but we have ways we can do that. We have a lot of native things growing here we can use, and we have people we can do with that. So, any further discussion from the board on the program?
Nope, not for me.
Okay, well, I would like to make a resolution that we do accept the grant and work with them on improving our park and send them this paperwork of agreement.
That resolution will be 25-8.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
And I will abstain. I was not involved in the planning at all, so I will abstain from voting.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Abstain?
Tiffany?
Yes. And we'll work on that and hopefully make it an improvement. Really nice.
Well, it'll definitely be improvement, no doubt about that.
Yes.
It's just,
Nope, I appreciate the concerns. Maybe someone thought of something I didn't. I'm an imperfect person. All right, new business. Christmas lights and decorations. We have someone who has very kindly agreed to help us with decorating for Christmas this year. Her name is Libby. She's going to be going through some of the lights to see what works. I just wanted to have a small budget because you always have to replace some things that are burnt out or broken. And just to have some replacement. I know we don't have a gazebo right now to decorate, so we don't need a huge budget, but what do you think? Any discussion on appropriate amount just to replace anything as needed and up to amount?
Well, they're gonna plug in all the lights and make sure they all work. And I'm sure those lights take a beating when they're up there for a
They
month,
do,
so-
and they get, some of the ones in the trees get weed whacked.
Yeah, so, I mean.
It happens.
200 tops for lights, $200.
Is that your motion?
My motion is that we spend up to 200 for any replacement strands, bows.
I'll second
Needed
that.
to decorate for Christmas.
Just to replace.
I'll vote yes on that.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. Do you have the Lowe's card? We could use the Lowe's card to pick up some things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then I also wanted to plan ahead because I hate waiting till the last minute. Our year-end meeting, we usually try to do towards the end of the year, very close to the end of the year. Do we have a date in mind? Maybe the 29th is the Monday before the end of the year. Does that give you guys enough time?
I've been working on it now.
Okay.
Because what they say is we can have it done by if we start now for a temporary budget, we can have it done by the second meeting, our second Monday.
Let me pull on my calendar.
So the second Monday would be the 22nd.
No, the second Monday.
Oh, the 8th?
Yeah, that's what,
Oh,
they
okay.
say we start on it now because we have time to change it in January. If needed. So if Nancy and I reached out to some other fiscal officers.
Okay.
So.
Are we
Because last time-
talking two different things here? We're just talking to
Year-end meeting.
year-end meeting to close everything
Oh,
out.
I'm talking- okay, never mind.
You're talking a
Yeah,
different budget.
no,
setting
yes,
time.
I'm talking
Thanks for
about
that clarification.
Yeah,
I thought she said budget. I don't,
No, no.
I was talking about budget.
Year-end
Year-end
meeting.
closing
No,
meeting.
let's do it,
Because if we had a second meeting, it would be the 22nd of December, but the 29th would be right at the year end.
No, they only have the second.
Actually, the second.
Monday, the 29th.
The 29th, what did I say?
Yeah, the
It's
22nd.
Monday,
so, yeah.
Monday the 29th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. So I motion that we do our year-end meeting,
Okay.
December 29th at the Town Hall at 6 p.m.
I'll second that.
I vote yes.
Okay. Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. We got a plan ahead. All right, and then also, our organizational meeting, if we have our year-end meeting on the 29th, our second Monday in January is the 12th. Is that adequate to have an organizational
Yes.
meeting, or is it too late?
No, that's,
We'll just keep that as the regular date, okay? Very good. Any other new business?
No.
Any other business at all? I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting and pay our bills.
Second.
I vote yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
You gotta watch YouTube videos during the meeting.